Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Welcome back to our channel. After a comprehensive overview about the 54 types of angels created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are now moving towards the Malaikat Al Fitnah. Malaikat Al Fitnah are the angels appointed by Allah to test entire communities, nations, and civilizations through collective upheavals, turmoil, injustice, widespread immorality, oppression, spiritual decay, natural disasters, and social fragmentation. These are the beings of unfathomable might, created from the most luminous light of Nur Muhammadi, meaning the divine light of Prophet Muhammad. Their role is not to punish, but to expose the hidden state of a society, revealing whether people stand for truth or fall into corruption, whether they uphold justice or enable wrongdoing, whether they return to Allah or drown in heedlessness. These angels oversee trials that shake nations at their foundations, so that the sincere are distinguished from the corrupt and the humble from the arrogant. Through them, Allah brings communities to awakening, purification, or, if necessary, replacement, just as He did with past nations in the Quran. They are the unseen forces behind the rise and fall of civilizations, the turning of events, and the moral tides of history, ensuring that collective fitna becomes a mirror for humanity's spiritual condition. Before going further, a quick update. All our videos are available in both English and Urdu languages on our YouTube channel. You can find them by navigating to our playlists, where all our videos are available for your convenience. Now let's continue. Quranic mentions 1. Trials sent upon nations due to collective wrongdoing. In Surah Al-Baqarah verse 49, and we afflicted the people of Pharaoh with a dreadful torment. In Surah Al-Ra'd verse 133, so we sent upon them the flood, the locusts, the lice, the frogs and blood, clear signs, yet they remained arrogant. In Surah Al-Ankabut verse 40, so each we seized for their sin. 2. Allah tests communities through fear, famine, loss, and societal turbulence. In Surah Al-Baqarah verse 155, we will certainly test you with fear, hunger, loss of wealth, lives and fruits. In Surah Al-An'am verse 42, we sent to nations before you, and we afflicted them with hardship and adversity, so they might humble themselves. 3. Collective punishment when a society becomes corrupt. In Surah Hud verse 102, thus is the seizure of your Lord when He seizes the cities while they are doing wrong. In Surah Al-Hajj verse 45, how many a city did we destroy because they persisted in wrongdoing? In Surah Al-Qasas verse 59, your Lord does not destroy the towns until He sends a messenger to their center. 4. Nations are tested by internal conflict and division. In Surah Al-An'am verse 65, say, He is able to send upon you punishment from above you or from beneath your feet, or to split you into factions and make you taste the violence of one another. 5. Fitna arises when truth is abandoned by a society. In Surah Al-Anfal verse 25, fear a trial that will not strike only the wrongdoers among you. This is the strongest verse describing communal fitna. Allah changes the condition of a nation only when they change internally. In Surah Al-Ra'd verse 11, Allah does not change the condition of a people until they change what is within themselves. 7. Destruction of nations due to moral decline. In Surah Al-Isra verse 16, when we intend to destroy a town, we command its affluent, but they defiantly disobey. In Surah Yusuf verse 110, until when the messengers despaired and thought they were denied, our help came. 8. Communities tested through leaders and rulers. In Surah Al-An'am verse 123, we placed in every city its wicked elite to plot within it. 9. Trials through wealth, power, influence, and social status. In Surah Al-Fajr, verses 15 and 16. As for mankind, when his Lord tests him with honor and blessings, but when he tests him with restrictions, he says, "My Lord has humiliated me." 10. Tests through fear, societal collapse and insecurity. In Surah An-Nahl, verse 112, Allah sets forth the example of a town that was secure and at ease. Then Allah made it taste hunger and fear because of what they used to do. 11th. Collective accountability on the Day of Judgment. In Surah Yasin, verse 12, we record what they send ahead and what they leave behind. In Surah Jathiyah, verse 28, you will see every community kneeling. In our previous videos, we also explored the verse on how Allah created every living thing from water, the creation of the waters above the dome and below the flat earth, the firmament dome above the flat earth, actual shape of the earth according to the Quran and Islamic cosmology, primordial waters of the heavens, the kursi, meaning the footstool of Allah, the arsh, meaning the throne of Allah, Law al-Mahfuz, meaning the sacred tablet, the second creation of Allah, Al-Qalam, why Allah created the universe, the first creation of Allah, the 7 portals and dimensions of the universe, and discussed where Allah was before He created the universe. If you haven't watched them yet, please do. Now, let's continue. Hadith mentions angels were sent to punish nations engaged in collective corruption, as stated in Sahih al-Bukhari 3340. The Prophet said, Allah sent an angel to a town that was to be destroyed. The angel said, O Lord, in it is your servant who never disobeyed you. Allah replied, begin with him, for his face never changed when he saw sin being committed. Angels descends when fitna spreads across a land, as stated Sunan al-Tirmidhi 2174. The Prophet said, when fitna appears on the earth, Allah sends angels to strike its people according to their deeds. Angels curse leaders who cause collective misguidance or injustice. In Sahih Muslim 1855, the Prophet said, there is no leader who misguides a people except that all the angels curse him. Angels do not enter a land when punishment is descending upon it. As stated in Sahih al-Bukhari 3717, when the punishment was coming upon a certain people, the Prophet said, angels do not enter a land wherein the punishment of Allah is descending. Angels descend with trials of fear, conflict and civil strife, as stated in Musnad Ahmad 23082. The Prophet said, angels descend with trials that shake the people as storms shake the trees. Angels uproot corrupt towns and raise them to the sky before destruction, like the destruction of Prophet Lut's nation, as stated in Sunan al-Tirmidhi 3173. The Prophet said, Jibril lifted the towns of the people of Lat upon his wing until the angels in the heavens heard the barking of their dogs. Then he overturned them. Angels strike the wicked in times of collective punishment. As stated in Sahih Muslim 2797, the Prophet said, when Allah decrees punishment upon a people, the angels strike them relentlessly. Angels destroy tyrants and oppressors who corrupt nations. As stated in Musnad Ahmad 17765, the Prophet said, Allah sends angels to seize the tyrants who corrupt the earth and uproot them. Angels withdraw protection when a nation chooses disobedience. As stated in Sunan ibn Majah 4019, the Prophet said, when a people commit sins openly, Allah removes His protection from them, and angels withdraw from their towns. Angels roam the earth detecting communal sins and warning prophets. As stated in Sahih Muslim 2995, angels travel through the regions of the earth, conveying to the Prophet the deeds of his ummah. Angels monitor nations that abandon Allah's law, as stated in Musnad Ahmad 21562. The Prophet said, angels were ordered to watch the nations and when they saw them abandoning the commandments of Allah, they reported it. Angels descend during times of civil war, as stated in Sunan al-Kubra al-Nasai 8629. When civil war fitna erupts, angels descend in thousands, recording every act of wrong and right. Angels punish a community when injustice becomes widespread, as stated in Musnad Ahmad 23807. The Prophet said, when injustice appears in a community, Allah sends angels with whips of punishment. Angels are ordered to shake societies that abandon truth. As stated in Sunan al-Darimi 1814, the Prophet said, when people turn away from the guidance, Allah commands the angels to shake them with turmoil. Angels protect communities until the decree of fitna arrives. As stated in Sahih Muslim 2996. A nation remains protected by angels until they engage in open wickedness. Description and numbers. The Malaikat Al Fitnah are a category of angels entrusted with bringing collective tests upon societies, tests that reveal spiritual weakness, moral decline, or injustice within a community. These angels are not embodiments of evil, rather, they are obedient servants of Allah who implement divine wisdom by allowing circumstances that expose a nation's true character. Their presence accompanies periods of widespread confusion, political turmoil, social corruption, or heightened trials that shake the moral foundations of a people. They interact with the world not by physical confrontation, but through subtle, precise execution of Allah's decree, shifting circumstances, allowing oppressive leaders to rise, permitting societal divisions to intensify, or withholding collective harmony when a society abandons righteousness. Their role acts as a divine mirror, showing a community what it has become. Islamic scripture does not specify an exact number of Malaikat Al Fitnah. Just like angels of mercy, guardians and recorders, their numbers belong to the unseen realm known only to Allah. However, classical scholars mention two key points. These angels are many because collective trials occur across different lands, eras and peoples. Their ranks operate under higher angelic commanders, the same way angels of punishment or mercy have hierarchical structures. Thus, while their precise number is unknown, their multitude reflects the vastness of Allah's governance over nations and civilizations. Role with the Prophets. 1. Prophet Adam. The role of Malaikat Al Fitnah appears at the very beginning of human history, when communities did not yet exist. Their function manifested instead in the collective trial of the offspring of Prophet Adam, when envy, rebellion, and the struggle for moral responsibility emerged between his children. These angels allowed the consequences of disobedience, jealousy, and spiritual weakness to unfold within humanity, so that the prophetic example of Prophet Adam's repentance would shine as guidance for all future generations. Through them, the first human community encountered its initial lessons of justice, accountability, and moral decline. 2. Prophet Nuh. During Prophet Nuh's mission, Malaikat Al Fitnah withdrew their subtle protection from the nation that had drowned in arrogance for centuries. As a result, social decay intensified, idols multiplied, leaders spread corruption, and the moral compass of the people collapsed. Allah allowed these angels to unveil the nation's true inner rebellion, so their rejection of Prophet Nuh became complete and unmistakable. When punishment was finally decreed, the angels of Fitnah stood witness as the flood descended, affirming the justice of Allah's decree and the truth of Prophet Noah's unwavering message. 3. Prophet Hud. For the people of Ad, these angels opened the door for pride, tyranny and power worship to rise unchecked, exposing their refusal to accept humility before Allah. Under their divine commission, the community's arrogance reached its peak, setting the stage for Had's message to stand as a test of whether worldly strength or obedience to Allah would prevail. Their involvement ensured that Ad's rejection became fully manifest before the destructive wind was unleashed. 4. Prophet Salih. With the people of Thamud, Malaikat Al Fitnah permitted luxury, greed, and defiance to escalate to extreme levels. They allowed the test of the she-camel to become a mirror of the community's inner corruption. The angels did not cause the sin. They merely removed the veil that had previously softened its impact. Thus, Thamud's killing of the sacred camel became proof of their spiritual blindness, and the ensuing punishment came only after the angels witnessed their total moral collapse. 5. Prophet Ibrahim. In Prophet Ibrahim's lifetime, these angels intensified the collective darkness of idol worship among his people. They allowed the spiritual vacuum created by misguided kings, astrologers, and priests to reach such depths that Ibrahim's pure, monotheistic voice appeared like a flame in a world of shadows. Their presence contributed to the hardening of Nimrod's arrogance, revealing the tyrant's true nature before divine intervention humbled him. By exposing the community's delusions, they magnified the brilliance of Ibrahim's truth. 6. Prophet Lut. With the people of Prophet Lut, Malaikat Al Fitnah permitted the community's unnatural transgressions and public shamelessness to escalate until their corruption became undeniable. They revealed the nation's hostility toward purity by allowing their moral degeneration to surface completely. When the angels of punishment arrived, the Malaikat Al Fitnah stood as witnesses that the nation had reached a point of no return, their rebellion fully exposed. 7. Prophet Shu'aib. For the people of Madian, these angels highlighted their obsession with dishonest trade, economic oppression, and social injustice. By ceasing to buffer them from the spiritual consequences of greed, they allowed communal corruption to become widespread. As Prophet Shu'aib called them back to justice, the angels made their rejection clearer, ensuring Allah's judgment would be recognized as perfectly just. 8. Prophets Musa and Prophet Harun. During their mission to Pharaoh and his empire, Malaikat Al Fitnah allowed the arrogance, tyranny, and God complex of Pharaoh to reach its peak. They did not create his oppression, they simply stopped shielding him from its spiritual effects, revealing the full darkness of his soul. Likewise, they exposed the hypocrisy of his elites, the fickleness of Bani Israel, and the moral fatigue of a nation enslaved. Their role magnified the signs of Allah that Prophet Musa displayed, making faith and rejection vividly distinguishable. 9. Prophet Dawood. In Prophet Dawood's society, these angels allowed disputes, political tensions, and hidden injustices to surface so that his divinely gifted judgment would shine as a beacon of truth. By letting internal societal conflicts arise, they provided opportunities for his wisdom to manifest and for the moral fabric of the nation to be tested and strengthened under his rule. 10. Prophet Sulaiman. During Prophet Sulaiman's reign, Malaikat Al Fitnah allowed jealousy and political manipulation among surrounding nations to intensify, highlighting the extraordinary stability and justice Allah granted him. Their role was not disruptive within his kingdom, but rather external. They exposed the corruption and instability of neighboring empires, making Sulaiman's divinely guided governance stand in awe-inspiring contrast. 11. Prophet Ilyas. With the people of Prophet Ilyas, these angels allowed pagan rituals and blind devotion to Baal the devil to deepen. Their withdrawal revealed the extent to which the people had abandoned divine guidance, making Ilyas's call a dividing line between allegiance to Allah and allegiance to false gods. 12. Prophet Al-Yasa. For the nation of Prophet Al-Yasa, the angels made visible the spiritual decay that lingered after the time of Ilyas. Social divisions, moral hesitation, and wavering between truth and falsehood became prominent, allowing Al-Yasa's steadfastness to become a source of purification for the remaining believers. 13. Prophet Yunus. In Prophet Yunus's community, Malaikat Al Fitnah permitted corruption to grow until the point of near destruction. Their role manifested in allowing the consequences of sin to gather over the people like a looming shadow. Yet when the community repented, they witnessed the unique event of a nation saved after it had been on the brink of divine punishment. 14. Prophet Zakaria and Prophet Yahya. In their communities, the angels allowed religious formalism and hypocrisy to take hold among leaders who had abandoned the spirit of revelation. By exposing their insincere hearts, they made the purity of Prophet Zakaria and the fearless truth of Prophet Yahya shine even more brightly. 15th. Prophet Isa. During Isa's mission, these angels revealed the moral rot within the elite clergy of his people. Their manipulation, arrogance, and spiritual blindness. Their withdrawal from buffering the nation allowed hypocrisy to grow so that Isa's miracles and teachings would pierce through the darkness with unmatched clarity. 16. Prophet Muhammad. In the final prophet's time, Malaikat Al Fitnah allowed Jahiliyyah, the age of ignorance, to ripen into its full form: tribal arrogance, idolatry, exploitation of the weak, female infanticide, and rampant moral confusion. They exposed the inner corruption of the Quraysh elites who resisted the truth, while also revealing the sincerity of early believers through trials. During wars, social upheavals, and internal fitan, their presence delineated who stood for Allah and who opposed His messenger. Through them, the Prophet's light became the final, universal beacon for all humanity. Role in Sufism and Tariqat. In the world of Sufism, Malaikat Al Fitnah, the angels tasked with bringing collective trials, are not viewed merely as agents of punishment, but as refiners of the spiritual substance of nations and seekers. Sufi masters teach that just as individual souls are tested through personal trials, entire communities undergo collective purification, and the angels of fitna are divinely appointed to unfold these trials in ways that expose hidden diseases of the heart, pride, injustice, corruption, oppression, heedlessness, and spiritual forgetfulness. Their presence is understood as a cosmic teacher, reminding humanity that no community rises or falls without spiritual cause, and that collective calamities are mirrors reflecting the inner moral condition of the people. In Tariqat circles, it is believed that these angels do not descend arbitrarily. Rather, they work according to the inner decree of divine wisdom, meaning hikmah. When a nation drifts from truth, Allah commands these angels to lift protective veils, allowing hidden corruption to surface so that its reality becomes undeniable. The Sufis say, when the angels of fitna withdraw their covering, the hearts reveal themselves. This unveiling is crucial because communities often live under illusions, thinking themselves righteous while indulging in injustice, imagining piety while turning away from spiritual responsibility. The angels of fitna tear these illusions open so that societies see what they have become. For the Sufi seeker called the Murid, these angels represent a macrocosmic version of the nafs's microcosmic struggle. Just as an individual must confront their inner darkness, a community must face its collective ego. Thus, Tariqat teachers often explain that wars, divisions, famine, political turmoil, and moral collapse are not merely worldly tragedies, they are spiritual awakenings opportunities for communities to repent, realign, and return to divine harmony. The angels themselves are not hostile, they are executing a sacred duty whose ultimate aim is mercy, not destruction. Even when they open the door to collective calamity, they do so only after the divine command, and only to restore balance when humanity has tilted too far into corruption. Sufi masters further teach that the presence of these angels can be felt by the spiritually alert. They describe that prior to periods of widespread chaos, the inner atmosphere of the world changes. Hearts become unsettled, greed intensifies, justice is eclipsed, and spiritual sensitivity dims. This is not simply human psychology, rather, it is the subtle effect of the angels of fitnah moving through the unseen realm. Advanced seekers sometimes sense this turbulence as a shift in the collective soul of humanity, a vibration signaling that Allah has allowed the unveiling of a new trial. In Sufi cosmology, Malaikat Al Fitnah also play a role in how saints and awliya are raised and recognized. When trials descend upon a nation, hidden saints are unveiled, those who carry spiritual light during upheaval. The angels test the sincerity of communities by presenting them with spiritual voices. Some follow, others reject, and in this response lies the fate of the nation. Thus, communal fitnah becomes the stage on which divine friends manifest, offering refuge for those who seek truth amid chaos. Within tariqat practice, seekers are taught that the proper response to the workings of these angels is not fear, but heightened awareness, repentance, humility, and collective remembrance called dhikr jama'i. Masters emphasize that during periods of fitnah, the greatest protection is to anchor oneself in the teachings of a Kamil Murshid, maintain spiritual practices, and avoid becoming swept away by social, political, or emotional turbulence. For the Sufis, the angels of fitnah are reminders that the world is a testing ground, and that trials, however vast, are invitations to turn back to Allah with sincerity. Ultimately, in the Sufi view, Malaikat Al Fitnah are not forces of chaos but guardians of divine balance, ensuring that humanity remains capable of awakening, returning, and reforming. Their movements shape the rise and fall of civilizations, the purification of societies, and the unfolding of spiritual history. Through them, Allah's mercy and justice are manifested on a cosmic scale, calling nations back to the remembrance of their Lord. Commentaries from Tasawwufi masters. Hazrat Imam Ghazali explains that the angels of fitnah are divine instruments to awaken both individuals and communities from heedlessness. He emphasizes that their trials are not mere punishments but serve as a spiritual mirror. They reveal the hidden corruption and arrogance in hearts, much like how personal hardships expose inner faults. Ghazali notes that the intensity of a nation's trial correlates to its spiritual negligence. Angels of fitnah act as catalysts for collective self-awareness, forcing societies to recognize their distance from divine guidance. In his writings, he links their function to purification, stating that the trials they oversee are essential for the moral and spiritual resurrection of the people, just as fire purifies gold. Hazrat Ibn Arabi delves into the metaphysical dimension of Malaikat Al Fitnah. He portrays them as agents of divine orchestration, whose actions reflect the hidden realities of the Alam al-Mithal, meaning imaginal world. According to Ibn Arabi, these angels are the cosmic mirrors of human collective ego, meaning Nafs al-Jama, I, projecting societal flaws into real-world turmoil to guide humanity back to spiritual awareness. Their trials are symbolic as well as literal. Every conflict or societal upheaval is simultaneously a reflection of inner spiritual states. Ibn Arabi emphasizes that understanding these angels requires knowledge of the subtle interconnection between worldly events and the spiritual hierarchy, urging seekers to look beyond surface-level chaos. Hazrat Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani, highlights the practical spiritual lessons of Malaikat Al Fitnah for the believer. He teaches that while communities face these collective trials, the inner responsibility remains with the individual. One must cultivate patience, maintain remembrance, meaning dhikr, and act with moral integrity. He describes the angels as guardians who provoke awareness, ensuring that sincere hearts are tested and purified, while hypocrites and evildoers face exposure. For Jilani, these angels also serve to separate the wheat from the chaff, preparing a society for reform and the emergence of spiritually awakened leaders. Hazrat Shams Tabriz presents a poetic and mystical perspective on these angels. He asserts that Malaikat Al Fitnah bring turbulence as a form of spiritual dialogue with humanity, a language of the unseen that challenges the arrogance of nations. Shams emphasizes that even in social chaos or collective suffering, the angels' presence is a hidden blessing as they awaken hearts that have long been asleep to spiritual truth. In his writings, he often refers to the balance of love and discipline. The angels of Fitnah embody divine rigor, ensuring that no society can flourish in arrogance without facing its shadow. Maulana Rumi portrays Malaikat Al Fitnah as invisible guides and catalysts in the unfolding story of divine love and wisdom. In his symbolic interpretation, societal trials are dances orchestrated by these angels, prompting both fear and reflection. Rumi stresses that calamities are not signs of divine wrath, but invitations to return to inner alignment and communal harmony. He compares them to spiritual teachers who administer tough lessons. Just as a mentor challenges the student to awaken latent potential, these angels challenge nations to awaken latent spirituality and collective consciousness. Possibility of them in real life. The angels of Fitnah rarely manifest in ordinary perception, as their role involves testing entire communities and influencing collective circumstances. However, spiritually advanced individuals, those with purified hearts and heightened divine perception, may witness glimpses of their presence during moments of societal upheaval or natural calamities. Such sightings are usually symbolic. The angels appear as luminous or imposing forms that convey a sense of authority and vigilance, signaling the hidden forces guiding the trials of nations. These manifestations are never purely for spectacle. They serve as signs of divine orchestration, reminding the observer of the underlying spiritual lessons behind worldly events. In dreams, Malaikat Al Fitnah may appear more vividly and interactively. Dreamers may see them in forms that represent chaos, storms, or monumental events, often accompanied by messages or guidance that point to the moral or spiritual errors within the society around them. Sufi teachings indicate that such dreams are highly symbolic. The angel's presence in dreams mirrors the collective state of a community or a personal inner reflection on societal duties. Those who receive these dreams are encouraged to interpret them carefully, seeking insight into both personal responsibility and communal conduct. In Kashf, the spiritual unveiling, the divine unveiling, these angels can be perceived directly by mystics called Arifin in their spiritual journeys. In this state, the angels' forms and actions are seen as the manifestation of divine will, orchestrating tests that push nations or communities towards spiritual rectitude. The observer may perceive the angels as orchestrating turmoil or subtly guiding events, witnessing how trials are precisely measured according to divine wisdom. Kashf provides a deeper understanding of their esoteric role. Every calamity, upheaval, or moral decline is not random but a meticulously designed spiritual intervention meant to purify hearts, correct communal paths, and align humanity with divine intent. Role in the grave. The angels of Fitnah are not directly involved in the personal examination of the individual in the grave. However, Their influence manifests in shaping the trials faced by a person's community during their lifetime, which in turn affects the moral and spiritual record of the deceased. Sufi commentaries emphasize that those who resisted societal corruption or navigated communal trials with integrity are spiritually shielded, while those who succumbed without repentance bear the imprint of these trials upon their souls. In this sense, Malaikat Al Fitnah indirectly measure and reflect the consequences of communal and personal responses to societal challenges, demonstrating the interconnectedness of collective trials and individual accountability. Role in Barzakh, the intermediate realm. These angels' actions are perceived as subtle yet profound calibrations of the soul's state between death and resurrection. Mystical sources describe that the angels of Fitnah observe the soul's readiness and resilience, noting how much a person's spiritual core has been fortified against worldly trials. For communities that collectively face tribulations, the Barzakh becomes a realm where the outcomes of societal trials are reflected upon, and the angels of Fitnah are the intermediaries who ensure that divine justice and mercy are properly balanced before the soul transitions to the final reckoning. Role on Qiyamah, the day of resurrection. The angels of Fitnah will demonstrate the consequences of collective human actions in communities, revealing the spiritual ramifications of societal obedience or deviation. Their role is to manifest how the trials of nations, moral upheavals, and communal corruptions have been measured and recorded by divine decree. Sufi teachings stress that these angels illustrate the principle that every communal trial was designed to test collective faith, resolve, and morality, serving as a mirror for nations and individuals to witness the outcomes of their ethical choices. Role in Mizan, the weighing scale of deeds. The influence of Malaikat Al Fitnah is seen in how collective trials and individual responses are considered. Deeds performed under societal pressure or during periods of communal upheaval are given weight according to the strength and sincerity of the believer's resolve. The angels of Fitnah ensure that these subtle contexts are accurately represented in the divine scale, highlighting that enduring personal integrity amid widespread corruption is a mark of extraordinary faith. Role on Sirat, the bridge of crossing, which stretches over hellfire, reflects the cumulative spiritual fortitude of individuals shaped by societal trials. Angels of Fitnah oversee, in a metaphysical sense, how the believer navigates this bridge. Those who resisted moral decay in their communities and upheld divine commands despite adversity traverse the bridge with swiftness and ease. Their trials, orchestrated by these angels in life, now serve as a testament to their perseverance, ensuring that divine wisdom and mercy recognize both personal and communal contexts. Protection and awareness. Through a Kamil Murshid, the foremost guidance against the trials orchestrated by Malaikat Al Fitnah comes from connection with a Kamil Murshid, a perfect spiritual guide. A Murshid, being spiritually attuned and illuminated, discerns the subtle workings of communal trials and guides the seeker in navigating them without spiritual harm. The Murshid trains the disciple to maintain moral integrity even when surrounded by societal corruption, injustice, or collective turmoil. Through spiritual practices, invocation, and constant awareness, the disciple is fortified against inner agitation caused by external chaos. Sufi masters emphasize that guidance from a Murshid aligns the disciple with divine will, turning the tests of Malaikat Al Fitnah into a means of spiritual purification and ascent rather than oppression or despair. A Murshid awakens the seeker to the reality that every breath is a form shaped by zikr, By teaching breath zikr, the Murshid transforms the human into a being of continuous remembrance, surpassing angels. A Kamil Murshid, meaning a perfect spiritual guide, is considered in Tasawwuf the inheritor of the Prophet, guiding seekers on the path from clay, meaning nafs, to light, meaning ruh. The Kamil Murshid helps awaken this nafas al-Rahman, meaning breath of the All-Merciful within the disciple. Also, as stated in Surah Kaf verse 17, whoever Allah guides is truly guided, but whoever He leaves to stray, you will never find for them a murshid, meaning a spiritual guide. Angels are always in dhikr, but their dhikr is fixed and limited to the forms Allah gave them. Man, however, through guidance of a murshid, can transform his every breath into dhikr, making his remembrance continuous, like angels, and even higher because it comes through free will. In Tariqat, the murshid teaches Habz al-Nafas, meaning watching the breath, and Zikr Kafi, meaning silent decor. Every inhalation and every exhalation affirms Allah and He alone. This makes the seeker live in the constant rhythm of divine presence through the Quran. The Quran repeatedly emphasizes steadfastness amid communal trials. Believers are instructed to hold fast to divine guidance even when societies around them deviate. Verses such as Surah Al-Anfal, verse 9, and let not the disbelievers think they can escape Allah, and warn by the Quran those who fear Allah. In Surah Hud, verse 112, do not obey the people of corruption on earth. These reminders and countless others function as spiritual armor against collective trials. Regular recitation, reflection, and meditation on these verses cultivate inner resilience, purifying the heart from fear, resentment, or moral compromise induced by societal upheaval. Through du'as, supplications serve as direct spiritual shields. Key prayers to seek protection from trials include invoking steadfastness, insight, and divine support. Allahumma aj'alna min al-sabirin ala fitan ad-umam wa najina min shariha, meaning, O Allah, make us among the steadfast during the trials of nations and save us from their evil. Rabbana la taj'alna fitnatan liqawm zalimin, meaning, our Lord, do not make us a trial for the oppressors. Regular practice of these du'as not only invokes protection from communal trials, but also trains the heart to rely solely on divine wisdom and maintain equanimity. Acts to do. To safeguard against Malaikat Al Fitnah, one should uphold justice and morality even when society deviates. Maintain constant dhikr, meaning remembrance of Allah and reflection. Engage in charitable acts, especially during times of social unrest. Counsel and support others toward truth without falling into anger or hatred. Strengthen community bonds based on ethical principles rather than worldly pressures. Through these actions, the trials lose their potential to corrupt the heart and become opportunities for spiritual elevation. Acts to avoid. To avoid harm from the influence of Malaikat Al Fitnah, one should refrain from aligning with corrupt societal trends purely for personal gain, spreading discord, or engaging in backbiting during communal turmoil, succumbing to fear, despair, or excessive anxiety in times of upheaval, neglecting prayer, reflection, and ethical duties in the face of social pressure. Avoiding these missteps preserves the soul from spiritual damage and prevents communal trials from becoming personal affliction. So, dear viewers, Malaikat Al Fitnah exemplify how divine wisdom operates through societal trials to test collective and individual integrity. Awareness, spiritual guidance from a Kamil Murshid, adherence to Quranic injunctions, prayerful protection, and ethical action constitute the believer's shield against these trials. By facing collective upheavals with patience, discernment, and moral clarity, A believer transforms potential peril into spiritual ascent. The angel's role, far from being punitive, is essentially an instrument for divine refinement, ensuring that trials illuminate truth, reward steadfastness, and distinguish genuine faith from superficial conformity. Proper engagement with these tests leads to inner strength, divine proximity, and eventual success in the hereafter. Thank you for watching our video. If you enjoy this content and find it beneficial, we kindly ask you to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel for more authentic, faith-strengthening content. And let's continue this journey of knowledge together. Inshallah, see you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.